My name is Barcia Alejos, and I'm a double boost-star mom. I raised all 3 of my children to love God, family, and country. But when 2 of my sons decided to go straight out of high school and to serve their country, when they were accepted into the United States Military Academy into West Point and to the Naval Academy, I never dreamed that a few years later, they might be faced with needing to defend values that are contrary to the very reasons they went in to begin with. Now, as a mother and as a citizen, I am not okay with that. And then, when I saw these same ideas permeate into my own beloved city of Indianapolis, when buildings burned down and crime went up, I knew I could no longer stand on the sidelines. I needed to be in the game to save our country. I needed to be in the game to save our city. And I needed to be in the game to change the trajectory of everything happening here in Marion County. So I asked myself, how am I going to do that? Little old me, you know? How am I going to do that? You know, I've never been in politics before. But then I started to think about my husband. And as you heard, you know, he's a naturalized citizen who came here as a child with his family from Central America to make Indianapolis their home. He has realized his American dream through his success as an entrepreneur and as a pillar of the local Latino community. And then I started to think about my own experience, and that I too have had the opportunity to look at our country from the outside looking in. I was able to serve in the Peace Corps in the Dominican Republic. And so I spent 2.5 years in the Dominican Republic, and that's where I learned Spanish, I perfected my Spanish, and became very fluent. And I also learned a lot about the Latino people. And so it allowed me to get to know them, and I think even more importantly, to see our country from the outside looking in. I was able to look at things from those eyes. And so after 2.5 years in the Dominican Republic, I came back. I met my husband. We got married, we raised our family, we built our businesses, and we built our lives upon these same principles, which is American values. And I've been in business, either administrating businesses, managing businesses, or building businesses ever since those days when I was a small business extensionist in the Peace Corps. And so, you know, fast forward like to 2021, and when I was like looking around at things and thinking, boy, this is not the world or the city or the things I want for my children, and now my grandchildren. I have 2 now, even since then. And, you know, and so I started to think about, again, how could I make a difference? Someone suggested to me that I consider one of the offices in local government that require a solid business background. And so I took a look at it, and I gravitated towards the Marion County Recorder's Office because it's an office that is constitutionally mandated in Indiana to protect the rights that we have as citizens or that the people have for land ownership, and to make sure that all of that is done in accordance with the law and the protection of land ownership and the transaction of that. So in the Marion County Recorder's Office, you know, there's a lot of documents there, okay? It houses all the documents in the county except for life events, which are pretty much going to be in the clerk's office, the office that Andrew's running for. So, you know, this is something that I started to look at it and I'm like, wow, you know, it's really, really important that someone competent be in that office. Because imagine for yourself, just think for yourself, if you went to purchase a home or buy or sell land and something wasn't right. Documents either aren't up to date, that maybe they're not available, or they're not accurate. This can cause a lot of problems in transacting the transaction you want to do, and that's part of your life, something you want to do, right? and it's causing a giant hiccup in your life. And that's not good. That means our office and our county services are not serving the citizens properly. It's also not great for our economy that things don't move along smoothly. So it's very, very important that someone competent be in that office. Now the other thing that you should know is that this year, the person that's been in this office for the last 8 years has turned out, so this office is vacant. So it's really going to be important that whoever gets elected this year be a competent person that can handle the magnitude of this office, because competence counts. It's important that we have someone competent in this office. Well, I'm here to tell you today that I am the competent candidate. If you look at my opponent is not competent. You're welcome to look at and see what you care to about that, but I am the competent candidate. I have the education, I have an MBA and the education supporting that. I have more than 30 years of experience in corporate and a small business throughout my career, and I've managed employees, as many as 50 to 75 employees at a time in some of my previous positions. So I know what I'm doing when it comes to business and handling an office like the Marion County Recorder's Office. I have the experience and I have the education for this office, and competence counts.